Hi, I'm FB and this is TM News, July 30th, episode 53, beginning with the latest results. First off, Ultimate Speed Fun Masters has now reached the winner bracket finals. The 4 players that will face off for 2 spots in the grand final are Dan, Speed You Need, Patti93 and Malin. This match will take place on Sunday. There's also a loser bracket with 6 other players who still got a chance to reach the grand final. In this Google spreadsheet you'll find all the results. On Friday, TM Masters hosted another True Talent Cup, this time played in Tech. Around 100 players came to start, and in the last round, Thompson and Spam would face off against each other. Thompson was looking like he was going to win at first, but then he made a late mistake which allowed Spam to pass him, who won the TTC for the first time. Third place went to Sky. Saturday was an unusually busy day with 3 events taking place, beginning with my own FB's weekly race. This time 125 players started the race, with 77 of them finishing. As for the results, OmnipotZ was back to winning, and this time he did it in a very convincing fashion. He was almost 20 seconds ahead of second place, which for the 4th week in a row went to Spam. Third place went to Cannot, whose previous best result was 11th place. The second event on Saturday was the ESL RPD Nightcup Edition 8. This cup started with a time attack phase where the top 50% went on to the last phase, Playday knockout. One by one the players got eliminated until only 2 players in Zomby and Kilburn remained. Kilburn, who won Nightcup Edition 7 and was looking to defend his title. Unfortunately though, the last round was a bit of an anti-climax since Kilburn made lots of mistakes and eventually ended up retiring the round. Zomby could take it very safe and won his first Nightcup, and deservedly so since he'd been dominating almost all of the rounds. The final event on Saturday was the MyR Cup Edition 3. The 4 players who made it to the grand final were Royal, OmnipotZ, Flyer and Kronos. This final started with a bang as we saw lots of very close rounds in the beginning. But as the final went on, Royal and OmnipotZ got a significant lead over the other 2 players and would also reach finalist mode at the same time on the map ESL Be Happy. In the round that then followed, OmnipotZ would get a node rift early on, which opened up for Royal to win the tournament. He had to of course beat Kronos and Flyer, but he did a great job of it and set the fastest time so far to take first place. OmnipotZ then struggled a bit and allowed Kronos and Flyer to get closer, but eventually he was able to secure second place. Kronos and Flyer would end up getting finalist status also at the same time, and in the last round, Flyer was able to take third. On Sunday we then had the 3 ESL tournaments that are currently going on, starting with the ESL Nascar Summer Team Cup. Sadly, it seems like only one match was played, which was Nascar Racing Team, who defeated Project Gaming Germany with a 2-3 score. This means the rankings aren't completely updated, but currently Nascar Racing Team are topping it with 2 wins. Then the individual tournament ESL NASCAR Championship 2 had its 3rd playday, which regrettably continues to have a lot of matches incompleted. In the rankings, Floatyho is still first in the Premier League, with Spider, Bigelow, Raptor, Hive and Kawi leading the lower divisions. To end off the results segment, the second to last playday of the ESL Dirt Premiership 3 was also played on Sunday. Pulse Gaming, GR, Virtual, Door2Q and Team Fox all won their matches. In the rankings, Virtual, NWT, Pulse Gaming and Team Fox have now all secured a spot in the playoffs with 1 round left to go. In the second league, Dirty Deeds Racing remains in the lead. Moving on to community news, beginning with the ESL Canyon Endurance Premiership 1 that is scheduled to start August 31st. But already you can submit maps to the tournament with the deadline set to August 8th. In this news post over at ESL you will find all the requirements needed when building the maps, as well as information on how to submit them. Another event that needs maps is the French LAN Opale Arena. They've already asked for maps before, but unfortunately they are still lacking submissions for Canyon. So if you want to help out, the new deadline is set to Thursday at midnight. Everything you need to know is found in this news post. Media Planet has published their results for their Best Videos of the Month series. New for this edition is that there is no longer any voting process, instead the videos are chosen entirely by the Media Planet staff. There's also no ranking anymore, instead the videos have simply been divided into 2 categories called The Best and Still Cool. Check out all the videos at Maniac2. And to finish off the community news, the 75 Builders project, which is a project where mappers come together to build one huge map in Valley, is still looking for people to be involved. In this Maniac2 news you'll find more information on how to sign up. Now for upcoming events. On Thursday at 8 PM CEST, the ESL Valley Summer Cup series will continue after a small break. This will be the second qualification cup out of 3, and more information on how to participate is found over at ESL. On Friday, TM Masters will continue to host events, however not a true talent cup this time. Instead they will host another Formula 1 race starting at 7 PM CEST. For this race you can already practice the map that will be used on Team Masters server. The race itself is a normal endurance race which will last for about 1 hour. More information is found in the summary. On Saturday we just got one event this week, which is FP's weekly race edition 24 starting at 4 PM CEST. To participate, just be on the server before it starts, and the map that will be played on is added 15 minutes before going live. Everything else there is to know about the race is linked to in the description. Moving on to Sunday, we of course got ESL, who continues to host 3 events on this day. First off, the ESL Nascar Summer Team Cup, which got its default time at 6 PM CEST. On this page you'll see which matches will be played. 2.5 hours later, the ESL Nascar Championship 2 also continues. This is Playday 4 out of 9, and on ESL's website you can see all the matchups. Then the third and final ESL event is of course the Dirt Premiership 3, which will have its last Playday before the playoffs. Even though the 4 teams that will make it to the playoffs in the Premier League are already decided, the seeding these teams will get are not, which makes a lot of these upcoming matches highly important. Sunday is also the day when the sign-up of the TM tournament Multilaps 2014 will end. This will be a 2 vs 2 tournament played on multilap and normal tracks that TmT will host instead of their usual team tournament. If you're interested in signing up, you need to send an email to the organizer. More information is found below. The Cyprus Cup is a 3-week time attack event with 3 new maps each week and a 120,000 planet prize pool. The event begins on Sunday at 8 PM CEST and will conclude on August 24th at 8 PM CEST. Scoring for the event is based on the local records and will be hosted on the ARK events server. Also, ARK will be accepting map submissions. Map authors must create a tech map or subgenre of tech between 30 and 40 seconds long. Authors can submit up to 3 maps. Stay connected at ark-racing.com. To finish off the episode, THC will be hosting the THC Solo Cup Edition 3 starting on Sunday with a time attack qualification that will last for 3 days. The top 64 players will then advance to a playoffs phase, which starts on Thursday and lasts all the way to Sunday when the final will take place. If you want to participate, sign up on THC's website. The registration will end on Wednesday at 8 PM CEST. And that's all I had for this week. Thanks everyone for watching, remember to rate this video and comment on it if you want, and I'll see you next time. First off, the individual full speed tournament Ultimate Speed Fun Master. The last round was a bit of an in the round that then followed. Sunday is also the day when the sign up of the TM tournament Multilaps 2014